Good morning, Las Vegas. It is once again time to rally the troops for another riveting edition of your morning coffee talk shop and all things wisdom and insight. Kendra Santos, Tommy Joe Lucia, No Spin Rodeo.
Okay, Jurgen, was that a subtle dig? Was that,
No.
Were you being sarcastic?
No, insights
was that
and
heartfelt?
wisdom. That was genuine complimentary
announcer
dialogue.
BS? Announcer BS.
Genuine complimentary dialogue.
All right, well, thank you. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Saturday morning right here in Las Vegas. We're at Cowboy Commons at the Cinch stage. I want to thank Cinch for putting, what a gorgeous stage this is. Great job that the production team does. I have my wonderful sporting yellow guest and co-host, Miss Kendra Santos.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, well, we start the show every day promoting our good friends at Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Remember, Pro Fantasy Rodeo, you can start early and you got the big game. We'll talk about the big game. That's the all 10 days. And then you can pay daily. Go to profantasyrodeo.com, $10,000 in prizes daily. And it's pretty cool. So you want to do that. And you got a bigger salary cap. You got a $650,000 salary cap. So you can pick bigger Cowboys. So we're just going to do a recap. Let's look at who's winning Pro Fantasy Rodeo, the big game. The big game. So if you play Pro Fantasy Rodeo, you kind of figure out where you're at. Epley Burns is the team name. Epley Burns. Don't know what that means. I don't know if that means like burns you, but it's Wendy Epley. She's won $421,288 is what she's won in the leaderboard. Now, to put that in perspective, Tommy Joe Lucia, world-renowned expert, you heard him say it at the top of the show, has won a sparkling $96,000 in that game. So you can see I've got a ways to go. And let's take a look at round two. Remember, this is the important thing out there, everybody. It doesn't cost much. Play the daily game. Round two, Texas BKSB. They won $230,000 off of their Cowboy lineup, and they got paid $3,500 for playing yesterday. You've got until the first horse bucks tonight. Get on there and do your Pro Fantasy Rodeo daily. So that's our Pro Fantasy Rodeo recap. Now let's look at our round two recap featuring Miss Santos.
It's not really a recap, but it's just a few like highlights of things that I see, and the stock of the year was introduced. I love when they do that, and they stop the rodeo. I mean, I'm assuming it's a TV break,
Yep.
right? It's one of the TV breaks. But for those of us in the house, it's so cool because it's touching to me to see the people who love them the most, the guys who are with them all the time, year round, crack that latch, and those horses and that bull just strut out there. So I would mention them by name that the bareback horse of the year is Brickman's Lunatic Heaven, Virgil.
Retired Virgil after this.
18 years old and has been a badass in the bareback riding and the bronc riding. He's cool and he knows it, right?
Correct.
And then we had Sankey and Phenom Genetics Magic Touch, the bull, but that's
a voted award,
great
right?
use of time. Yes.
That's voted, yeah.
Yes, stock of the year. So, at the top, how can we not say something about Stetson Wright? He was lights out in round one and again last night, really. And I mean, he split second and third in the bronc riding and won the bull riding, and he's now closing in on $550,000 in season earnings for 2025. There's no telling what that's going to look like. An all-time record for annual earnings is certainly likely.
It is likely. You have to stay healthy.
Yes, but I mean, he's got it going on.
He does.
Feels good.
He feels it. You can tell it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Rockersteiner, after the first round was a little less.
You could almost see that coming.
What he wanted, and so last night was exactly what he wanted. Interesting. They did throw the yellow flag and say, Cooper Cook, who won round 1, that he missed the horse out on the left. And then several rides later, they came back and Wayne Brooks said, I'm going to clean up that dirty laundry. And they decided that they gave him a free roll. So it was almost at the end of the bareback riding before we knew that.
See, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
See, they need to do that more timely. They do. If they're looking at it in real time, do it more timely, because even, I missed that. I didn't even catch that. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So Wasey Shala, who's in the duel with Stetson for the all-around, he won second in the bareback riding last night, which is a big deal, and third in the bull riding. He's 19. He's a stud.
He is a stud.
So that was cool. Okay, in the steer wrestling, Tucker Allen, it was cool to see him win his first ever go-round buckle on the Horse of the Year banker, who belongs to Justin Schaefer. Those two guys haze for each other. They're the best of friends. They're in the truck together. One thing, as I'm watching, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or I'm a mom or whatever you want to say, but Justin Schaefer's steer got away from him last night, and it was completely and totally heartbreaking for him. But then he had to turn right back around and get back on and haze for Jesse Brown. He had just been deflated. But he had to turn right back around and help his buddy ride his horse, and haze for him. And so that's rodeo for you, but it's a really special part of rodeo. So also the first go-around buckles ever for Jake Smith and Doug Rich. And, Jake, the Smiths have 3 boys, also to include Britt, who I just remember as a little kid, he could make his stomach do the wave. He would take his shirt off and his belly would do the wave. I've never seen anybody before or since to do that. But Jake,
our guest is going to do that for us today when he comes up. He can do it.
Clay's a 2-time world champion. And so, Jake, I'm sure he gets called Clay's little brother quite a lot, but, really cool to see those guys take the victory lap last night. And the first time they get up on that stage at the South Point is fun, and get to bring their family. And
that's a moment. That's a cool moment. That buckle ceremony is cool.
It is. And then our defending champs, T. Wade and Wesley Thorpe. T. Wade missed the first night, and Wesley had a little issue last night. But I guess I'm just going to harken back to the days of Speed and Rich, that when the beginning was rocky, and then these two just catch fire, so it won't surprise anyone. But for those guys to be 0 for 2, it's.
At what point is it a no return?
At what point? What
is it? No return?
We're far from there.
Okay.
Those guys might win 5 rounds in a row. They might pull up Bobby Hurley, Alan Bach on us, or something like that. Absolutely. So I do see that it looks like Wesley is. I think he's ridden 2 different horses, and both of them are Colby Paynes. So he's trying to, he'll get his mix right. So anyway, newlywed Aussie, Damian Brennan, won the bronc riding. And a little stat that's a big deal that got past me until last night is that our 4-time champ of the world, Zeke Thurston, he's got over 3 million won, and he's now the all-time earnings leader ever in saddle bronc riding. That got past me till last night.
He needs to keep winning because he's on my fantasy team.
There was a 3-way split, 3 7/8 to win the tie down last night. Shad Mayfield, Marty Yates, and Dylan Hancock. So Shad's 2 for 2.
And what is he? A couple grand? Riley, it's not quite as cut and dry. I mean, things have changed for O'Reilly.
Well,
in the world,
and yet,
in the world race,
Riley being Riley, he's the Iceman. So here we go. So okay, Haley, Kinzel, and sister won round 2 after winning second in round 1. That's their 26th win in the Thomas and Mack, and Haley went to 55 rodeos this year. Rode sister at 21 of them and won money on sister at 20 of them. The way she manages that horse and loves that horse is is very, very special. Super shout out to the fact that Cassie Mowry, after winning the first round, went last night, went 15th, and still got a check in the round. To our friend on the tractor,
Randy Spraggins?
Yes.
Yeah, Randy told me last night, he said, every morning at 6 a.m. when I'm working the ground in the Thomas and Mack, I've got No Spin on and listening to No Spin. So shout out to you, Randall. Keep that ground where the number 15, that's always his goal. His goal is to make sure you can win. He tells me that on the very, very last run, right?
That guy's a game changer, and, I don't know if this is a case where he needs to either clone himself or be mentoring some other people, but that's like a hero to these cowgirls who, they're living as these horses, and these horses are family to them. So keeping them safe. And by the way, I'll also mention last night the Barrel Racers Class Act wore black for Anita Ellis, who couldn't be here but qualified 8th for her first NFR, and then had a head injury in a fall from a barrel horse. So it's not just the horses we're keeping safe. It's vitally important, for the contestants also. And so of course I already mentioned that Stetson won the bull riding.
Cowtown Rodeo's Orbit.
Previously unridden, right?
Yeah, I thought the field. Well, we'll talk about this when we get our guest up here. I didn't think the field showed the way they should out. But I love the fact that they've staggered these guys now. We'll talk about this with our guest, right? Ending with these guys that are in the top 5 is great. You know what I'm saying? In these rough stock events. I think it sets up for a great show.
It's okay. You're talking as a production guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. And if you're not one of the top
competition
5,
production.
I don't know.
Okay.
But cool thing that they pointed out last night that the 7 guys are here for the first time. And 4 are part of the rookie race. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
An extra element to watch for.
Okay, well, that was our round 2 wrap-up presented by Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Again, go out there and try the daily game. It's a lot of fun. You can win some money. Top prize, $3,500. Doesn't cost you much to play. And now, because of the demand from No Spinners, our guest today, one of our top shows, by the way, our guest today is Mr. Rorey Lemmel. Rorey, will you join us on stage? And all of our fans clap. And by the way, I have a beautiful young lady down here where Rorey gets that showed up early. I don't know if she just didn't have anywhere to go or she's a fan, but I'm going to pretend like she's a fan because she's one of 3. We have 3 people in the stands. You got to be transparent here. One is her, who I'm going to throw a cap to. There you go. And then the other one is Dominic Lucia and his son Darian. That's the middle brother. All of you know Anthony. Some of you know me. Then there's Dominic, who is a full-fledged big-time doctor in North Central Texas, who's joined us. Come in to watch his brother announce last night.
Okay, and also little brother Anthony announced his first ever perf at the NFR last night. That was super cool. And the young lady you just threw the hat to, her purse says Miss Rodeo Oakdale, original cowboy capital of the
Whoop, whoop.
world,
Yep.
Where I spent every Easter of my life growing up.
Cool. Beautiful
Oakdale
purse.
Rodeo.
Thanks for being here with us. All the rest of you that aren't here, stuff it in your coffee. Here we go. All right. Let's get started, Rorey. I'm going to kick it off real quick. So you and I are probably the guys that when we're watching an event, it's hard to enjoy the whole event because we're really looking at stuff. So the burning thing for me, when I knew you were going to come on, is a little note comparison here. So give us the number one thing that kind of alerted you, right, that you kind of saw in production. Now, you got to throw out night 1, and I'm not going to say you have to throw it out, but in fairness to all of us that produce events, usually night 1 is legitimately a dress rehearsal. You can do rehearsals, but isn't it true, Roy, that after night 1, you get stuff fixed. After night 2 of any event, then you feel relatively comfortable that everybody has their rhythm. Fair?
Yeah, that's 100%. Obviously, there was mistakes and misses the first night. And if you put on events and a bunch of events, and I know Tommy Joe feels the same way I do, it drives me wild. First perfs, I feel really good when we hammer a first perf out, because that's always the excuse. Well, we'll get it right tomorrow. And I always give the speech, and Garrett's down there will say, these people paid the same money the first night as the people the second night. There was production issues, and a lot of times people don't know there's people upstairs, that you got to deal with, and they got to hit cues. They missed it. Rolling to last night, it was way better.
Can you guys at least name the biggest glitch?
Oh, there was pyro that didn't go off. There were spots that didn't hit. There was one thing that I don't like showing. This is the most exciting rodeo in the world, and it's not close. Not close. Obviously, the storylines you just talked about, everybody's jacked up to be in Vegas. But when they run that camera up there and you show people sitting around, snoring, looking on the phone, that's not indicative of what's going on in our arena.
Yeah,
right?
Don't punch up Charlie, who's half asleep.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Punch up a hot chick.
Yes.
Or someone wearing cinch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, last night.
Okay, wait.
What?
Dude, I get we're on the cinch stage, but it is the Wrangler National Finals
Absolutely,
Rodeo,
yep.
so let's...
Okay, you can do Wrangler.
Do not punch up a hot chick.
Yeah. So
Punch up a chick.
one thing I noticed last night, and then we'll get to where Tommy Joe's always alluding to something, so we'll get to that. But breath of fresh air, brand new announcer. Not just saying it because they've got one successful Lucia out sitting in the front row down there. But
he has a retirement plan.
yeah, that's right.
That's why he's successful.
So me and Garrett just talked about it. Anthony needed just a touch more mix last night. Anthony can command a room. And first thing I told Tommy Joe, I didn't think he was loud enough last night. First time in the MAC, right? Him or some wily veterans he's sitting beside. But Anthony can control the room. I'd expect to give him a little more juice the next time.
Who controls the volume?
Oh hell, there's quite a crew of
Not
people
Anthony.
there. Yeah, but no, not Anthony. They got so much stuff coming at them.
As soon as an announcer tells me what audio level he needs to be, he gets put in his place. We'll figure that out. Mm-hmm. You announce the rodeo.
Yeah. Now we'll get to I don't know if this is true or not.
Now, on the Anthony thing, I think if I'm guessing, first time in there, probably a little cautious. He may not have pushed. I mean, those of you that know Anthony know he can scream. Mm-hmm. And almost sometimes too much. And I think he was probably a little subdued, right? Wanted to, I don't think I think we'll see a different Anthony as this progresses.
Well, I do too, but the thing, and you guys know this, and the thing that makes Garrett Yerrigan or Anthony Lucia so involved, they actually know the contestants. They know what they're up to. They're in the game, so they're passionate about what they do, just like you are, because they know. And if you haven't lived this lifestyle, somebody will say, why'd they do that? This is their window. This is their window. The next thing you know, you've got a cup and you're trying to mentor the next kids. You know what I mean? It's a short window. You have to make it. So I'm excited to see some new blood in there. I think we need more of it. And we got a new clown out there. Everybody knows I love John Harrison. It's exciting to see a new clown get a shot there. He's earned his way through there.
I mean, he's got his barrel picked up. He's ready to run in there anytime because they don't allow them to do much.
Yeah, that's right.
If you were running the rodeo, would you have put the NFR bullfighters in the opening fighting a bull in their baggies just for entertainment? Would you have?
Her point is, what if one would have got hooked?
That is my
and
point.
hurt.
Well, there is alternates standing by. So I did a rodeo one time here in Vegas that everybody frowned upon. Still was a great idea of the next 5 that didn't make it here. I fought a bull, and everybody said, what are you fighting a bull in the opening? But I was wanting to show the world Manu for the first time, right, in Vegas.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but
the horses were in the chute, and so they said, aren't you worried about that? And when you put on rodeos for a living, you cannot live in your fears, right? You have to...
Okay, but how about if there are alternate bullfighters standing by, why not have them fight the bull in the opening?
That's a good idea. It's a good shot.
I think that's a good idea.
That's a great idea, Kevin.
I was the first guy to make them fight bulls under spotlights. And the bullfighters came up to me and said, "You're turning the lights out?" I said, "Well, what do you need to see? You need to see the bull. You don't even need to see you." "Well, what about the fence?" I said, "You'll feel it when you run into it. And by the way, I don't want you to go to the fence." So we did spotlights, bullfights, under spots, wide, right? We kept them wide where you could see where the bull was going. You gotta take some risk.
That's right. You got to think outside the box.
But I think that's a good point. The alternates probably would have been wide.
That's a great idea.
All I could think of was, remember that moment where we were all bawling because Dusty Tugnas was laid out in the arena with a busted leg, and I'm like, God, please let that not.
Well,
happen.
there's two parts to that too, because I wouldn't call Dusty Tugnas an open bullfighter as much as I would say a freestyler, as much as a saver, and so you're asking them to do two different things.
Well, and you look, I think it was Tuck. I just saw the video on it. I didn't see it live. But one of those guys jumped on the barrel late to get a barrel jump, and it was almost a problem.
Yeah.
And he got out of it. But you're right. I get what you're saying. Now that note, the one I was alluding to, what's the one note that most no spinners out there would probably not notice that ironically both of us found out we noticed this morning in the truck ride over here? Go.
So I don't know. Could be my imagination. Brett Franks and me talked about it last night. The barebacks have been off. Have you noticed it? The barebacks they won second on my horse last night, Sippin' Firewater. He was probably a point off from what he normally is. Sammy Andrews had one really buck. Rockers was nice. But if you look through the first two rounds, horses are checking. Why are they checking?
Now, let's say what checking is.
So they're hesitating.
They're hesitating.
They're hesitating. It could possibly be, we've never done this here, but the cowboys are coming out on foot, and there's two lines. So if you go back through the video and you watch them barebacks, and they are checking around them lines, there is the two lines affecting the bareback. The time the bronc riding comes around, them lines are covered up.
We're talking about where they walk.
I do understand what you're saying, and we've all seen it 10,000 times, where at a rodeo in the late afternoon or whatever, there might be a little shadow cast, and a barrel horse might balk, or a steer or a calf might jump it. Or
it could be my imagination, but there are some spectacular barebacks here.
But you said your horse redirected 3 times. Didn't you tell me that?
Garrett, go to Rorey Lemmel Bucker on your phone and bring it up here on Facebook. I got my horse.
We have a nice video crew that could probably get that on the screen.
We'll let them try to find it. We'll look at it.
Yeah.
But you own this horse, and you think, and this is fair, this is your horse, that he saw that line, which is a change in contour, and redirected.
If Harp can bring it up, which I know he can, I'll let you look at it. And that's
a death sentence to a video guy right there. Lemmel.
Could you do it a little faster?
Come on.
Did he have a warning?
No warning. He is currently in full-on panic mode.
He's Googling the wrong thing. There's no telling what could come up. A chicken and a donkey could come up before this is over.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Talk amongst yourselves. We'll let you know when it's ready.
We'll keep going. So, and when I noticed it is they did a wide shot after the opening, and I just saw those 2 lines, right? And it's just where those guys walked. And my thought was, I wonder how hard that packed that ground, because that is a real deal, right? Depending on the consistency of the ground. You got to keep, people get mad at me because I lock my gates after they work the ground in the opening, and cowboys be like, wait, I got to get over there on my left. Well, go around the back, because they don't realize that those 200 people walking in front of the chutes makes a difference, because that's where that bucking horse's first feet hit, and bull.
Correct.
And isn't it true that you can pack that ground down with humans way more than you think?
And probably bulls like a little more packed than horses. So it's Randy Spraggins. Hell, when I did the other rodeo way back in the day, I had Randy Spraggins out here working my dirt. He's really good. One thing they don't talk about in the barrel racing with our dirt, and Randy works on it all the time, is so that dirt sets a lot of the year. Now all of a sudden it's getting water every day. and getting treated every day and grooming it and got an expert like Randy on it. And the times get faster and faster and faster. And everybody's saying, these horses are getting faster. Is it the horses or is it the ground?
Or is it the girls having confidence in the ground and letting them have
I
their
think
head?
it's all three.
All of it. All of it.
The dirt's sitting there year round. The NFR crud has at times been blamed on the possibility that there are mold spores in that dirt.
We talk about it everywhere. I mean, you go to some places where if a storm blows in 3 weeks before and your dirt is wet, all of a sudden as a rodeo promoter, you're starting to panic. Am I going to drag mud into the arena? Someplace, I've went to places, he has too, where the ground moves. But as we talked about it.
Like a big sponge.
A sponge. I'm going to put the analogy of the rodeo, what the production team is going through right now. Everybody has a playbook. Everybody has a flow sheet. Everybody in that room. But the key to being a great rodeo producer is just like football. You ever watch a football game and some team dominates the first half and then the experts come out at halftime and everybody said, it's rigged. Look how they're coming. They're making adjustments on the fly. And that's why he gets paid a lot of dollars. The true great rodeo producers, you can have it scripted out. But you're dealing with animals. You have to make great calls. You have to be in that position at lots of rodeos before to be a great rodeo producer, in my opinion.
I agree. Well, you have to see that the mistakes that we've made in the past is why we don't do it again. People say, well, why do you not want to do that? Why do you not want to run a feature right before a guy nods his head? Because it doesn't work, right? The timing is wrong. It sounds good, feels good, looks good at your desk, but live in action, it doesn't flow like you want it to. It's little things. So I think it's those experiences. And, the NFR is timed down, as we know, to a second. A lot of our shows are down to 30 seconds, right? Because that's reality. Reality is probably 30 seconds, I think. But it's timed down, and they have a schedule because it's such a big event. But I don't know that this particular team has to work together so much and have seen so many different things happen that it's instinctive to know, oh, maybe this is the adjustment we need to make, right?
One of the worst feelings is setting up there.
We have it ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harp Productions Lightning G presents Rorey Lemmel's bucking horse.
Sipping firewater.
Sipping firewater.
Watch him move out here. There's the line.
There he
There's
goes.
the line. There's the line.
Look at that.
That is not his trip. He usually angles straight across the arena.
Almost flawless.
Wow.
The last little pit harp, almost flawless execution. But is that not cool? Look at this, people. Like, this is really cool.
Yeah, you talk about like Wasey Shala. Wasey, what was so good is Wasey gets on this horse at the Govs Cup and Wasey's hurt and he don't ride him very good.
Bail.
And Wasey absolutely ate him up last night. It was
Thank
kudos
you.
to Wasey.
But
Good stuff.
that is really good stuff. Now, here's the question. Has that been told to them that it could?
Well, I called Tom last night. I don't want to interfere.
Right.
That's obviously is a great production. I said I could totally be wrong. That's that horse's fourth trip here, and bucks twice a year here, and usually he's headed to the announcers. The other 6 times he's bucked. That would be number 7 there.
And for those people that are watching that may not be as versed as some of us are in rodeo, that horse stayed tight. And he needs to stretch out. You want him traveling so he can kick above his head. Fair?
I want him jumping up in the air, but I want him to extend across through there, right?
Gotcha.
And as a horse owner, one bought $187,000 yesterday that's never been there. So that makes me nervous. I do not want that horse to have that same trip again. Was good, but that's a great horse. If that one was 187 yesterday, that one's worth 250 there today because he's qualified to be there.
Okay, I don't want to change gears, but he just opened up a whole can of horse. So they had the bucking horse sale, right?
Correct.
It was virtual. Is that right? Or was
Yeah, it was all on video.
all on video because they pushed it, canceled it because of the HV herp, the big herp. And so here's what he's alluding to, because I got some text on this. I want his opinion. A 5-year-old gelding bucking horse, 5 years old, and we'll let him talk about this, and he's a gelding, brought $187,000. A little bit of a bidding war going on in the house, right? $187,000. Now, from a guy that buys, breeds, trains horses. That seems like a lot of money for a 5-year-old gelding. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, that's you're never going to get your money's worth out of it. So it's all in perspective,
Pride
right?
of ownership.
Pride of ownership. Pete Carr wants to be the best in the world. He's got a lot of great rodeos. There was apparently 2 or 3 others that wanted to be the best in the world. Does it make sense? Probably not when you got that many good ones as Pete. But that's a great horse. They're so tough. The rodeo game changed about 10 years ago. So it's about $12,000 an animal to get out here. There is almost 70 contractors out here. And the fight is real. And the committees out there are saying, oh, you only got 3 horses, or you got 1, or how come you didn't get any? It is so tough, because what people don't realize throughout the year, you don't always draw Brody Kress or Sage Newman or Damian Brennan or Ryder Wright. You draw some big slugs once in a while, and it takes one. I had a bull I thought would come out here, and they said they 20.5'd him once. They won 2 rodeos, was 90, 88, but one judge 20.5'd him, and he didn't get to come. So unbelievably competitive for the stock contractors. So that's why I guess they did it. And I guess if you have that much money,
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you, right?
Right. It's all
Tell me Joe
perspective.
Lucia's not going to buy a horse
Right.
for $18.70. But if you've got the money and you want to be the very best and you can afford it, because that money helps the business, right?
Look,
I mean, you're probably, if you do the math, how many 5-year-old geldings do you have? You're all of a sudden now
I don't mean to brag.
big wheeler. That's right.
But this is how it's changed rodeos, and we'll stop beating around the bush. Frontier Rodeo is owned by a very wealthy man. The smartest thing Jerry Nelson did is go out and hire Heath Stewart to manage his herd, and they're unstoppable. There's other guys taking that same approach. It used to be ranchers and stock providers did it. Now it's changed the last 10 or 12 years. Maybe not great for me that comes from a ranching background. Probably great for my kids that'll probably inherit my herd someday and make some real money.
For people who don't know, the bucking stock here, do the event reps with input from their top 15 decide which buckers come?
Correct. And I've been privy to a few calls from way back when. As you know, my brother was the director for a long time. You should listen to them phone calls. Talk about no spins ratings would go up. There is a lot of name calling, a lot of that horse sucks. And no, I like, because different horses fit different guys, right? So there is a lot of different, and there's some moving and shaking. By the way, I've seen them break in calves. I've seen them break in steers that are coming here. I've seen team roping partners split up over the years while they're breaking in to come into the NFR. It is a big time. It is behind the scenes, as you know.
Oh, there's been some heat behind the scenes with contestants this year, for sure.
Let's talk about your event, the steer wrestling here. So they'll event. Which pin goes 4 times? Which pin? I think the first
Now, hold
pin.
on, everybody. They pin the cattle, and they look at the characteristics of that set of cattle. Just so everybody knows that they might not know what you guys are talking about.
So if I'm a gambling man, I think the first set of steers is what they've got pegged to go 4 times. Well, them bastards run like Seattle Slew now. and if you don't think them horses right there, them are the greatest bulldogging horses on the planet. And they were catching them at 1/2 and 3/4, and that outgate, as you know, comes pretty fast. So it'll be interesting.
Right.
And the calves have not been on a calorie count either.
No.
To clarify on that also, when the top 15, when they couple days before the rodeo starts, they all, they show the calves and steers the building. They all, prep them, and then they all get in the middle of the arena and pick which pin goes a fourth time.
And you really got to be in the rodeo business to know they can change. They can change so fast. The weather. I mean, it's just the animals, the feed. It's a tough decision for the guys. It's their livelihood. But different to the rough stock. They know about a month out. But our horses get in here early. They settle in, and so it's a totally different game changer on the horses.
Can I ask a quick question about the EHV1 protocol deal with the bucking horses? Because for those who don't go in and out of the tunnel, that every contestant there comes in and out of at one point or another in the rodeo, the bucking horses are in pens on one side of that tunnel. They line that tunnel. So I did see that they put like a black screen. Mm-hmm. In other words, if a horse would cough or whatever.
So they put a mask on the panel.
They put extra bucking horse safety.
And I think the bucking horses, of course, naturally I'm more sighted, but I think they were probably the safest ones because nobody had really been rodeoing. Yeah. They're running in pretty big pastures. They're pretty quarantined. So right. I think they did by the way, a great call. Obviously it changed daily, but not letting anybody come in and out, probably a very wise decision.
But the fear to me would be not that rough stock would bring it in, but if that gets into a herd setting, it's a disastrous result.
It's scary beyond belief. But as contractors, and I think I can speak for that group there, this is bigger than us. We have to make sure this rodeo goes on. I mean, yes, it is our livelihood and it's scary.
What a great...
But the people that worked before us, the Harry Volds of the world, the Harry Knights of the world, they set this stage up for us. And if we can't suck it up and go on, we've did them a disjustice.
That's cool. That's cool. So, real quick question, because we want to bring stuff out. You said the horses came in early. Share with us the accommodations. Like, how do they take care? Like, do you like the way they got the pins and the people? Like, brag on that. Look, people don't even understand what happens. Walk us through what happens when your horse.
So they'll send you out a deal. How much hay would you like? How many pounds of feed? You got these feeds to pick from, and you naturally get them on what they think. An alfalfa mix. Different parts of the world. California is different than the Dakotas, and Texas is different than us. You tell them the feed. Do you want a tub in there? Do you want them exercised? The only thing tough on this year is they couldn't stop this year. So not so bad if you're from Dakotas. It's a 16, 17 hours ride.
Oh, I see. You didn't want to unload. They wouldn't let you unload them anywhere. Interesting. No. Okay.
So something that we wouldn't normally do, rodeoing through the year, I wouldn't normally take them that far on a trailer. But think about the crews coming from New York and Iowa and a little farther. So now you gotta pack your feet along, keep them loose in the trailer. For an animal, they just need to stop for a bit. And if you can stop them on the trailer, that helps. But it changed daily. PRCA worked just outstanding with the state of Nevada and Las Vegas events. It just changed daily. We already have to do a lot of things before we come here and get shots for our animals. And then when this come out, it was, so I was doing a rodeo in Canada for Vern McDonald, the Canadian Circuit Finals. So my poor brother Red, I would say, we live about, 100 miles apart. You got to go over there and do this now. And you got to go over and do this now. And it was a little bit of a pain, I'm not lying, and it's expensive. Every time a vet comes to your house, I happen to have a cowboy vet that's spectacular. And I'm sure every contractor does. But here we are. Greatest rodeo in the world.
Well, that's, what you said earlier, don't discount. These guys have millions of dollars of their livelihood in this. And they recognize, probably because you guys are a little more business oriented, right? You're running a business. You might own stock, but it's a business, that we got to do everything we can to make sure that this show goes on, because there are hundreds of thousands of people here today earning a check because this event went on and because Las Vegas does this. And so thank you guys. They complain about, this and that. I almost got hives thinking if I was Alan Reinheimer, right? When this went down, my mind started running with the scope of what this is. So, if we haven't said it, I'm going to say it again. Great job. And we're 2 in. We're gonna finish this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. Yeah, she's dying for this. All right, we got 20 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and pop open the bean dip can of worms that happens every year here. And that is, let's take an official look at the current fine list for the Cowboys in the PRCA, and we'll get Rory's take on that. And we'll get our team to throw it up here, and we'll take a look at it. So I'm going to go from the top. We'll have a little conversation about this. Championship Pro Rodeo. Huey's knockout, a bull, $500 fine. Lemmel probably knows what that is. Kendra, do you know what they got fined $500 for?
No, I have no idea.
Well, I'm looking at the list.
It was
not tipped. Not tipped.
Yeah, horn size.
Not tipped. I'm looking at the list, and my name's not on it, so they're doing a spectacular job so far.
It's coming. As soon as you do commentary on this, there's one coming.
Okay, well, at least address that. The fact is, if
They gotta be tipped.
Right. So
Yeah.
if the bull's horn, just like a bulldog and steer, has to be tipped.
Is it a nickel or a
for
dime?
safety?
Yeah, but
right?
a 50-cent piece or quarter. But when you come to the National Finals Rodeo, you're under the microscope. You're under the microscope for brands. I mean, some people don't realize when you brand a bucking horse, freeze brand, hot brand, I don't care what you're talking about, they don't just sit there and take it. It's pretty exciting there for a bit when you do it. So, but they got to be clear and concise. And it's just a fact of life. The freeze brand don't hurt them at all.
We need to clip that audio because I can use that, what he just said. That little piece in a lot of different... Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But so anyway, your brand's got to be right. You got to tell them where the right placement is. Is it on the left? Is it on the right? Is it on the front shoulder?
Having a bull's horn tipped feels fair because that's so that
Right.
they don't skew the bull rider.
Well, let's face facts. Will O'Connell's a little slow in the head, and that's what it cost him $500.
Will's not a Sudoku player.
No, Will's for the Cowboys.
He's a cowboy.
He just got caught there. I mean, he probably looked good to him because Will would want to do it.
He doesn't
right.
have very many 50-cent pieces in his pocket. All right.
Especially after yesterday.
Riley Pruitt, $100 for unintentional drag. Explain that, Kendra. You know what that is.
Yes.
It's right down your alley.
Okay, well, and then we got back-to-back John Douch unintentional drag. So, yeah, well, all that means is that there is a very fine line to walk.
That's easy. It's the next one that could be the game changer.
Okay, but let's just...
But let's get on these two. They got to drag them 6 feet, right? Over 6 feet.
It's simply that the horse keeps pulling and is actually dragging the calf after the hands have been thrown in the air. And it is not intentional, but the fine line that these guys walk, you cannot have your horse walking up. It's a disaster.
And that is bad. They didn't mean to do it. Their horses are working hard, but they get it. Yes.
So I get both sides. I mean,
the next one's wild though. The next one is a game changer.
Okay, so $2,500 jerk down Riley Webb. That was from the opening night on his horse of the year. Obviously, also unintentional. But the fact is,
is it all unintentional?
that is absolutely unintentional. Yes.
Riley Webb is
He's
as you know, incredible, absolutely unintentional. But why this is so dangerous? If he loses, just say he misses his slack, and one comes over, which can happen in the tie-down roping. If that happens again, it's a no time.
Right.
correct.
That's
but
the
how many
smoking
times
gun.
do a guy of his, I'm asking, a guy that's as good as him, miss anything? Because when we talk about Cooper, those guys can, isn't it not fair? I'm not a calf roper. You guys know, they can do anything they want with those cattle, right?
9 times out
The
of
good
10,
guys?
but look at how much money's up. And guess what? As you look at Shad Mayfield, he is storming from behind. What are they, 2,000 apart?
2,000 apart now.
And the crowd is cheering, and you got the announcers, you got some jerk like the guy over there building it up, and you're backing in for what you've dreamt about as a kid for all the marbles.
Yeah. But these horses they're tuned so precisely before they get here. And it's like Riley Webb would never intentionally jerk a calf down anywhere because he wants them to be on their feet when he gets to them.
Now, does the weight of the calf have something to do? I know speed and weight, but that has some to do with it, right? I'm asking. I'm not a calf roper. If is a heavier calf moving faster is going to require different slack than a lighter calf moving slower. Fair? That's physics.
I would have to ask Riley and Hench and your kid. I think he was trying to go too fast.
These guys are so expert at handling their slack. Yeah, this is a big deal. It would have been a lot bigger deal. I think, in a way, this is a forgiving rule, that it's a fine the first time. Because if that would have been a no time on opening night for our world leader, holy smokes.
Yeah, but let's give some creds here to the association, which we don't do very often.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Well, I'm going to do it because you got to start doing this stuff. You have to start doing this stuff if you're going to actually walk what you're talking. That's all I'm saying.
And I like it. It's a little bit like in football when they get in a fight and they can say, "That's great. You do that again, I'm throwing you out of the game." And that's basically...
That's what they did.
That's what they did right here.
Great. Let's go to the next one. Sam Peterson had a patch that wasn't approved on his body.
Sam Peterson is...
I'm surprised it wasn't Lemmel Buckers. Is Lemmel Buckers approved?
$1,000.
$1,000. It should be $1,000. I'd make it $5,000.
Sam is just a young kid, and all he eats... He likes hunting, riding barebacks, and occasionally bulldogging. That's not going to faze him. That's a mistake. First year here, that is a stand-up young man, and he's riding so good that $1,000, he's going to eat that up pretty shortly.
Oh, now I love the next two. I can't wait to get you guys on this. So a $250 fine for protected bird feather. Go.
I think the South Dakota
in the hat
on this one because it's usually a bronc rider, or not always here, but I'm saying back in the what?
Oh yeah, is JR native?
I do not know.
If he is, he's fine.
Yeah, it's legal.
It's legal.
Correct.
Yeah.
That
So
is
Narducci could wear a hairdress up there mixing music if he wanted.
well, like
He's not.
Tom Reeves could wear one. Because
Absolutely.
he's native.
Yeah, if you're native,
Yeah.
and but JR might have some. I have no idea, but that's what it is. It's an eagle feather. The Native Americans can wear them, not so much the Germans.
But I want to read this. Processing an eagle feather in the U.S. without being an enrolled member of the federally recognized Native American tribe is a federal crime under the Bald and Golden Eagle Protection Act, the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, carrying penalties of up to $100,000 fine and a year in prison for first offense, even if found on the ground, as it protects eagles from illegal killing and trade.
It took Dominic damn near 50 years before he was proud of his brother. When he was spouting that fact off, he was nodding his head, laughing a little bit. I see it.
$250 fine, but this is real.
Okay,
This is real.
What you're saying is that the PRCA's rule in finding them is actually a legal issue.
Correct.
It's a federal offense.
But I will say this. Right now, I have a pair of bald eagles living in my oak tree at my house.
Clip that. You got to clip that. I have a pair, too. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so they are on the ground.
You have them there?
I do.
In captive?
No, they're wild.
Could we have a federal official here, please?
Yes.
No, they're laying on the ground?
No, the birds
No.
are flying.
Oh, they're flying around.
Feathers, obviously.
You can't touch those feathers. It's just the thing. All right, and that you don't look at how many people can tell the difference anyway of a feather and a hat. I mean, go get a turkey feather. Evidently, nobody cares about turkeys. They kill billions of them for a holiday. But the eagle, he's got it made.
I think John Payne, there's some sort of feather he wears. What is that?
I don't know.
But he might have some native blood.
No, I think
John Payne?
I think it's a turkey feather. It's a pretty big feather.
Copper Bandit?
Yeah.
Well, he's probably somehow Native American.
Yeah.
If you ask him, he's got bloodlines of everything. He's definitely a hound dog. Okay,
Is it Asperger's where you blurt something out that you're not supposed to say?
Tourette's.
Asperger's? You think I got Asperger's?
I don't know. When you say something inappropriate.
Okay. Well, so now
Now
my
we're
co-host
talking.
thinks I have Asperger's. All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, some highlights. What do you think about the quarter point judging? We've got about 9 minutes left. Do you like the quarter points?
I actually do, and I heard some old timers that don't like it. The only thing I see, like when these pins are set that close, we're constantly trying to nitpick it apart a little bit, and it's trying to eliminate all the ties. So I'm for it until they come up with a new system, but
Does it, to me, I was wondering if it would, because like Sean Davis the other day, he's like, they already have all these points to work with, whatever. But is it kind of a benefit for the judges, really? Because all that matters is that you place them in the right order. So does it help them?
I'll tell you what I did at the X-Bronx finals. I had them judge like this, but I had two judges off to the side, and I used the decimal system. And the only reason I did it, you had 22.1 to 21.1 to 21.9, and each are going up. Because I was sick of the ties, because I work really hard at making the horses absolutely the same. My judges that set off to the side got it closer than my four judges in the arena. Granted, one was Tom Miller, a damn sure an expert. But what happens a lot, so I had two judging the horse and two judging the ride. Zeke Thurston overhauls this horse that didn't have his day. I was hollering to run the re-ride around. Zeke won, I think, fourth in the long go. I thought he was on a re-ride. Made a 23 spur ride on a 16 horse. The two judges using the decimal system on the side had him 21st out of 24th. My four professional judges in the arena had him fourth. You need them extra points. And it only happens when your pins are that even, what they're supposed to be here. You know, you go to a regular rodeo, you go to Tommy Joe's rodeo and black tie's out, and then we don't have another horse to match black tie, and then it's a pretty easy spread. You get to the NFR and you get to looking. These horses look pretty close in the pins.
Well, it's also perspective. So you said this, these guys are sitting on the side. We had this conversation about judging. You know, a judge has to be a relatively good athlete, because if he's got a beer belly, he's not going to get around. He's going to miss 4 seconds of the ride until the horse turns back the other way. Everything they got going on running, the perspective, Rory, from where they're at and watching,
Absolutely.
It makes a big difference.
So the one thing I think that I would do different here is they put the two judges all the way down at the end of the arena, and everybody's always complaining, look at that one judge. Why is he so low? Why is he so high? The horses are coming straight at him. He's clear at the other end where the other guy's got the side view. Almost impossible. I'd rather have the four judges be from me and Tommy apart and get the same angle. Just virtually impossible.
Which I guess as long as that one guy's consistent.
Absolutely.
Right.
And by the way, going back to I put my world's toughest rodeo, I put my judges on a headset. They can't talk to nobody else. They knew that call right away last night.
Are you on the headset? So you can say, we need it big here?
No, I don't get on the headset.
Okay.
Stop that. But last night, them judges, they actually free rolled right away. They knew it. They did not relay it in time to the announcers, but I watched it down there because I chuckled because the Cooper limped a little bit. And I said, man, he's asking for a free roll. They did it right away. Free roll. This is the sign. They didn't announce it till 9 away.
Is the limping, can that be like, what do they call it in basketball, a flop?
Yeah, it damn sure got him, but it made me chuckle because I thought he took a couple good steps. And
Then he forgot?
No score, and then it damn sure hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? So, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. As Caleb Bennett turned to me, the director, and said, if it works, it works. But they were going to free roll him anyway. There's no doubt about it. He got hit.
I want to know what your opinion is about, at this rodeo, of all places, to have the top 5 in the world in the rough stock events go last every single night.
You know, I love it. And the reason I love it is them guys earned to get to that spot. If you work your way in, if somebody comes from behind tonight and works his way to 3 in the world, he deserves to be one of them guys. I do like mixing it up at the start. So the way I do some of my rodeos, I put the animal in the chute. Because I want them to go out the right chute. And then I draw
For their preferred delivery.
Correct. And then the cowboy goes to it to make sure everybody's got a free shot. I don't care.
That's the way you're supposed to do it. That's a production deal. It's still a random draw. You know how many times I've had an argument about that?
Yeah.
We set the buck order and draw to it.
Yeah. But here, I truly believe, and for the production, these guys rodeo all year long, Kendra, to earn that spot. They know it. I think they all like it.
It's surely an advantage to go last.
The poor people that have to go first here is a man killer.
Back in the day, the timed event got, like, if you came in 15th, you had to go first every night. No? Oat? I thought Wade had to go first every single night.
It's based on what you won in the standings. But
he went first every night. Okay.
In the rough stock, you really notice it. It's the Russian judge gets you a lot. You know what I mean? It's just, you're going first, and it really hurts me at the bronc matches. Really hurts me. They know it. I try to buck my horses really fast. It's just human nature, right? The crowd gets into it, and
the judges are conservative in the first. That's how they
got to set the
shouldn't be. They shouldn't have to do this, but a lot of them set their mark on the first couple heads.
Absolutely. There's guys that should get rerides right away, and the judges are thinking, what if the rest are like this?
Yep.
It sucks.
All right, final thought. We've got 3 minutes left. Do a little rodeo roundtable. My final thought, it's obvious Rocker Steiner rides bucking horses better than saddle horses. Go.
Okay, I apparently looked down for a minute, and so I didn't. Was that intentional that he just went like the rhinestone cowboy, just a few?
No, his victory lap horse balked, and then Wayne's like, well, okay, get out of here.
So the horse just stopped.
It looked like the horse was just fighting his head. I'm not a cowboy.
I didn't know if he
didn't go anywhere. I
thought maybe he was doing it to be different or something.
No, I don't think he stopped that horse, did he? I think he rode out there like 30 feet and then went nowhere. Right? Is that what happened? Yeah. So that's my recap. We got a couple more minutes. What's your final thought of round 2, NFR, today's show?
Well, it's so early that it's,
Oh, come on.
We have no idea.
Spread your wings, happen. Eagle, fly.
Eagle?
Well, we were talking about eagles.
I'll get a fine for that.
Okay. What about you?
My final thought, I'm glad we got strong leaders that voted, because people have no idea how close it was to stop the national finals rodeo. And I always go back to our great governor, who's now the secretary at Nome, that'll be here today. And she kept our state open. You got to be strong, and you got to face people. And that's what the PRCA did. That's what Las Vegas events did. They caught some flack, but I'm proud of our leadership, and we're still having the national finals rodeo, and we can look people in the eye.
Preach. Very good stuff. Well, if you haven't joined us today, we have a record-setting crowd. Very happy about that. If you haven't joined us, every morning at 9:30, we're right here at the Cowboy Commons, the Cinch stage. Thank you for joining us. This has been our round 2 right here live, our No Spin Rodeo Rally. Thank you to Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Thank you for listening to us back at home. We'll be back tomorrow. God bless all of you.